The lead into this song is I came home from school one day. I was a senior in high school, and well, at least my mom and dad thought I went to school.
Right.
Okay, and I proudly announced that, I think I've made a decision. I think I'm going to go into the Air Force. And they were not too keen on that because there was a little policing action going on over in Southeast Asia,
Right.
a little place called Vietnam. And that was still going kind of hot and heavy at that time.
I was going to say, timeline-wise, you were out right in the busy time of it.
And so they were not real keen on me doing that. But I said, well, I've been having a good time in high school, and I've been real active. And I've been on, captain of the swim team, key club, debate club, the one act play. I've been on the choir. I've been doing all this stuff. And I had all these things that said, yeah, but what about school? I said, well, I've never cracked a book, and I'm still doing A's and B's.
Wow.
And so I never, I was blessed that, things kind of came easy as far on the academic side. But if I had applied myself, I would have probably ended up with a scholarship.
Sure.
But I was having too much fun. So I said, well, I missed out on the scholarship thing. But they got this thing called the GI Bill. So I'll go in, I'll keep my nose clean. I get out and go back to school on the GI Bill. And so that was the intent. And so I went in and got out right after a year after Vietnam ended.
Right.
And fast forward 30 some odd years, 9/11 happened.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
25, 30 years, something like that. And my son graduated in 2002. Our son, excuse me.
Yeah.
And he was at Sam Houston State. And sophomore year, Thanksgiving break, he came home and he said, Mom, Dad, I think I'm going to take a break from school. And we said, no, what? He goes, well, I want to be a Marine. Wow. I want to take a break. I want to be a Marine. I just feel like I need to do this now.
Yeah, call him.
And what was I going to say? Don't do what I done did.
Right.
So it was like, I guess what did Yogi Berra call it? It's one of those deja vu moments all over again,
Right.
And I wondered if this is how my dad felt at that time.
Oh, boy, I bet.
And so what could I say to him? And so, keep your head down, keep your nose clean, keep your head on swivel, do what you're told, and probably make it through. Because this was, he was deployed to Iraq, and he was in Fallujah when it was pretty ugly.
Yeah.
And so he saw some things that nobody should ever see. Yeah. And things that you can't unsee.
Yeah. Unfortunately, right.
And so while he was over there, I got to thinking about, well, what else could I tell him that would mean something to him?
Sure.
And then I got to thinking, okay, maybe I'm just being too selfish. What do people like him need to hear that people from my era can relate to or need to relate to? And the whole concept of, I'm going to tell you something I didn't hear. And so the premise behind this song is an old Vietnam vet is walking down the concourse at San Diego Airport, and he happens across a young Marine that's walking down the terminal, and this is the conversation they had.
Oh, okay.
So. was not quite 21 when he went into the Corps. But less than 12 months later, he was in a desert filled with war, fighting over there so we can live here free from the terror of some zealots that have threatened you and me. Not old enough to buy a drink when he signed the dotted line, but brave enough to risk it all if and when there came the time. In the San Diego airport, he and I came face to face. In this young man I saw myself in another time and place. I asked, "Are you going over there?" "No, sir, I just got back. But I'm good to go if called again, if terror should attack." I looked into his eyes and saw deep into his soul, but he could tell by the way I looked at him there was something he should know. I said, "Son, I love my country, and yes, I give a damn. But things were somewhat different when I got back from Vietnam. I was called a baby killer, people spat upon my face, but I was proud to do my duty, to serve is no disgrace." Now I'm gonna tell you something no one ever said to me. You better listen up and listen hard, 'cause these words can set you free from the horrors and the nightmares you brought back for doing your part. And it comes from one who's been there, and it's coming from the heart. Thank you for a job well done, but that don't seem enough. For all the things you've seen and done when the going got tough, thanks don't seem enough. And thank you for your honor and your courage under fire, and for your commitment when through the muck and mire you kept on keeping on when getting home was your desire. Thanks don't seem enough. No thanks don't seem quite enough. All gave of their time, but some gave a little more. All left home and family, but some left a little more. And all heard freedom's ring when it was time to heed the call. You got to know that all gave some, but some gave all. Some gave all they had to give, made the final sacrifice. But to rid this world of terror, it was not too high a price. And if you were to ask them how could they be honored best, they'd want their brothers to hear these words so in peace they could rest. Thank you for a job well done, for your service over there. In a desert stenched in terror, so we can breathe sweet freedom's air. Your service shows you care. And thank you for your honor and your courage under fire, and for your commitment when through the muck and mire you kept on keeping on when getting home was your desire. Thanks don't seem enough. No thanks don't seem quite enough. Thank you for a job well done, but thanks don't seem enough. No thanks don't seem quite enough.